All right, y'all ain't know how Stable Marcus J is live. We in the building, ready to have another outstanding show as we do every single week, live from the den, Legacy Internet Radio. We got a great one. We got special guests. I'm ready to bring them to you. No more need for salutations. It's time for the song. And you know how Stable Marcus J is live right now.
Yeah. It's about that time. It's about that time to get. Yeah.
Button your lip, open your ears, strap on your thinking cap. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. It's time for Ain't No Half-Steppin' with Marcus J.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He hits one deep to right center. That ball is out of here. The Yankees win the pennant.
If they lying, then they must be half-stepping. Ain't no half-step. Marcus J is live. We in the building. Be down with us. 804-402-2893. Be down with the flagship show, y'all. Live from the den, Legacy Internet Radio. We appreciate those folks who are rocking with us tonight. We appreciate those folks that are checking us out right now on Streamer, as well as those folks that are listening to the website, www.legacyinternetradio.com. Thanking of those folks that are checking us out right now on TuneIn, as well as on YouTube. Y'all rock with us every single week. We're going to roll with y'all. We appreciate y'all. You know, we got a lot of show to get to tonight, and of course we can't do it without the sponsors. So shout out to Live Action Captions, shout out to Free Spirit Enterprises, shout out to our sister Jody Smith. You know, those are the sponsors that we have currently. And of course, Legacy Internet Radio leaves the door open for anybody who is looking to be a part of our family here at Legacy Internet Radio. As you know, when you roll up in the den, you get a hug from yours truly. You get a firm handshake and a shot in the eye. I'm looking at you in the eye and saying, hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being a part of what it is that we're trying to do here. And that's how we try to do it with grassroots. You know, I guess from the bottom, started from the bottom, now we here, kind of corny, but there's some real stuff here, and that's how we carry it here at Legacy Internet Radio. So if you're interested in sponsoring, if you're interested in doing a podcast outside of the Richmond, Virginia area, if you're looking to do a live studio show here in the den, all you need to do is holler at us here at www.legacyinternetradio. Is a spot on there where you can contact us, or if you want to just email us directly at legacyinternetradio@gmail.com, and we appreciate it. Of course, we're all grassroots, so we accept donations as well to our PayPal account at legacyinternetradio@gmail.com. And so everything that we do is self-produced. Everything that we see or you see here is self-financed. So of course we accept donations, but you don't need to do that to enjoy and be a part of the family. So if you just want to hang out and listen to us and just rock with us, the biggest thing that you can do for us is to share our different posts and things like that you may see pop up with the hashtag Legacy Internet Radio, or the hashtag Ain't No Half Stab on Marcus J, or the hashtag The Listening Party, or hashtag Brother and Sister Shenanigans, or All Throttle Radio, or Couch Coach Live, or I Got Something to Say, or Irreconcilable Differences, or Twi After Dark. Any of the shows that we have here at Legacy Internet Radio, whatever it is that's in your spirit to help support us and help us continue being able to bring you socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. As long as you want it, we're going to continue giving it to you. And we appreciate any help that you may have in your spirit to help us progress in that way. 804-402 2893 is the number to dial. The phone lines are open here for this first segment. So I'm here, and I look forward to taking any calls. The phone lines will be open here for the first segment. But later on in the show, very excited, y'all. Very excited because we've got four special guests that will be joining us here on the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. Leading off the show tonight, we've got our brother Kenneth Taylor, who is the founder, and he, of course, runs Something Unique magazine, which is a online magazine that talks about all kinds of stuff. And I'm not going to give you too many teasers because I want you to actually pull it up and check him out. So Google Something Unique, and that's some, SOME apostrophe N. So something nice, cool, right? Something Unique magazine. So you can check him out on Facebook as well as on the internet, and check that out, that website. We're going to be talking to the founder here on the show tonight, so we look forward to it. We've got a couple of dynamic sisters. And when I say we got dynamic sisters, we got a couple of dynamic sisters that we're going to have on the show tonight. Very, very excited to talk to our sister Shonda Pulliam. Shonda is a author. She's a writer. She is self-produced, or published, I should say, self-published. And so we look forward to talking to her and having her share with us her challenges and the things that she goes through to put her books out there. She's a dynamic sister. I look forward to bringing her to you. We also are going to have our sister poetess Cynthia Sherrill. She's a poet, also a writer, but she's also a life coach. And so I look forward to talking to her tonight and sharing with us all of the different ways that she can help those of us, because everybody's going through something. No matter who you are, you got something that you're going through. And I'm sure there's some sort of positivity or some sort of words that our sister can share with you or with us as the listening audience that would be beneficial, that would be guidance, that would be wisdom that we can take away and feel very, very special. So I look forward to talking to our sister poetess Cynthia Sherrill. And then rounding out the show later on, we're going to have the return of our sister Dana Marie, old friend of mine from Jersey City, New Jersey. She's going to come on the show tonight and talk to us about credit. She's going to talk to us about building your credit. She's going to talk to us about what's a good credit score, what's a not good credit score. She's got an awesome organization that she is a part of that is there to help all of us. Anyone who wants to be a part of it can check her out, can check her organization out, and see about how you can get what it is that you need from that group. Ain't no half step on Marcus J. Live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. The phone lines are open for this first segment here. And then later on, we'll be talking to our guests. But 804-402-2893 is the number that we're rocking from right now. I want to give special shout out. Of course, we got a few people in Facebook Live that are checking us out right now. So very, very special shout out to our brother, Mr. 3375. Who's checking us out. Our brother Ernest is checking us out. My brother Mike Jeter is checking us out. Deshaun is checking us out, as well as our brother Colt Sievers is checking us out. So we got some love from those folks. So we look forward to, getting further and deeper into the show tonight. We look forward to answering any questions to the open phone line, which is 804-402-2893. You rock with us. We will roll with y'all. 804-402-2893 is the number to dial to be a part of tonight's discussion. So before I get to our guests, there are a few things that I want to have a conversation with y'all about. And also shout out to my brother Hakeem, who just checked in as well. A couple of things that I want to get to tonight here on the show. We build the show as socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor. Of course, we would be remiss if there were a few things here that have been prominent in social media that we didn't talk about. One of them is Rob Kardashian and Black Chyna. Now, I got to tell you, I'm really not one for social media drama. Like, you're talking about people like a Kardashian, and I mean no shade or no disrespect to the Kardashian family. I just got no use for them. That's just me. I got no use for them. I'm pretty grumpy and tired of seeing him always in my feed. And, we talk about Kim, and, I guess a little while ago, Kim was the it one. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about Kim, and, some folks find her attractive, and, all of those kinds of things. She did the tape with Ray J. I could care less about any of that kind of stuff. I'm just not into it. And then we had to talk about Chloe. Apparently she, has this reputation of being a man eater, and the guys that she's with usually don't end up doing very well in their lives going forward. So there's some issues with her, talking about, Lamar and others. Chris, I think Humphreys, the basketball player. The young girls, I haven't heard much about them. Of course, we know all about Bruce Jenner transitioning to Caitlyn and all of that kind of stuff. First of all, before I go further, I'm pretty sure if the daddy was here, the attorney who Robert Kardashian was the attorney for O.J. Simpson in 1994 and O.J. Simpson, I'm sure if he was living, this shit wouldn't be going down. I'm gonna just say that. I could be wrong. I've been wrong about most stuff. Hey, if you're a baseball player and you bat 300 means 3 hits out of 10, then you go to the Hall of Fame. So if I'm wrong 7 times and I'm right 3 times, I'll freaking take it. And in this case, I'm saying that this man wouldn't be going for this bullshit if he was living. Robert Kardashian, rest his soul. But I want to talk about Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna for a minute. Now, I don't have a whole lot of the details. So that may make me a little bit of a hypocrite even getting into this. So please allow me just a little bit of latitude, because I'm going to speak as a man right here. And I'm going to speak as a man with the limited information that I have. Now, Rob Kardashian, from my understanding, is with or married to a woman named Blac Chyna, who I guess was a video vixen, and she's done her thing to make herself known in the world of hip hop and music videos and things of that sort. That's for the old folks who don't give a shit. Like, I'm one of the old folks that don't give a shit, but I realize we got listeners who give a shit, so I guess I should have a comment about this. Sorry, I just kind of vented and said what I was thinking. Probably shouldn't have said it, but y'all know how I do. Ain't no filter. Ain't no half-stepping. Having said all of that, apparently this Blac Chyna woman was doing some infidelity and got caught up, and Rob found out and all of this kind of stuff. But his response to whatever it was she did, and I guess I'm tipping my hand about how I care about this, because there's nothing that she could have done, in my opinion, that's worthy of what his response was. But he took intimate photos, naked pictures, sexually explicit photos of his baby moms, y'all, the mother of his child, his daughter, his female child, and put it on the internet, and has some very, very unbecoming things to say about her. All right, now, let me say this. Many of us know what it feels like to be jilted. Many of us know what it feels like to be dissed. Many of us know what it feels like to be hurt. But and this is Marcus J., I'm just speaking as me, and ain't nobody listening. It's just me and all thousands and millions of y'all listening. Just us. Just between you and me. I ain't about that life where I'm trying to embarrass somebody because my feelings are hurt. I just can't do it, y'all. I just can't do it. I can't put pictures, intimate, embarrassing photos of somebody who I purport to love at any point in my life in social media for the sole purpose of embarrassing them, no matter what they did to me. I just can't do it. I can't do it. You're going to put the mother of your child, not just your child, but your female child, on blast on social media because your feelings hurt. Every time for the rest of eternity, when someone Googles Rob Kardashian and or Blac Chyna, they're going to find pictures of her naked ass and her vagina and her breast or whatever in sexually explicit ways. Brothers, sisters, people, Facebook Live, legacyinternetradio.com, TuneIn, Streamer, YouTube, iTunes. However you are listening to the sound of my voice or looking at my ugly face, do not follow the model of Rob Kardashian, because no matter what your reason or rationale is, you look like the jackass. You look like the idiot. You look like the stupid one. You just do. There's no justification for it. The high road should have been taken here, because your feelings are so hurt that you go this far. And unfortunately, there are enough of us in this world who feed off of drama and bullshit that we're going to be celebrating this guy and supporting this guy. I seen multiple posts out there and hashtags that say Team Rob. Like, you think that it's okay for him to put naked pictures of his baby mama on the internet. Okay, you in your feelings right now. I got you. I can dig it. But what's going to happen 20 years from now when that little girl is 21 years old and she's really understanding who she is and what her legacy is as a Kardashian, and she goes and she Googles herself, or she Googles her mother, or she Googles her father, and she sees this shit? Like, really, it's not okay. It's just not okay. Dig yourself, man, because the reality is, if you out there swimming with the fishes, you might actually become one that gets ate up. In this case, Black Chyna ate you up, man. Chalk it up to the game and be a man. Be a grown-up. Don't just be a man, because, ladies, this is for you too, the roles were reversed. Just be a grown-up. Just be a grown-up. Shout out to my big cousin, Tony. Tony, I appreciate you checking us out, man. You've been supporting Lil Cuz for a long time here on these Facebook live photo opportunities and on legacyinternetradio.com. Got a lot of love for you, brother. Shout out to the family on Belmont, Jersey City, New Jersey. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Y'all see me looking down because, see, I got notes. Got to make sure I get everything that I need to say before we get to our guest. So I got some notes. The next thing that I want to talk about is Black Lives Matter versus the Ku Klux Klan. Now, the Ku Klux Klan was founded in the 1800s, and their original doctrine was to make sure that white supremacy was the way of the land. There was no use for anybody who was not a white Protestant. And in the beginning, there was no use for anybody that wasn't a white male. Keeping with that, they obviously gained prominence, over the next 100 years or so, in a punk-ass way, because many of them walked around with sheets on their faces so you couldn't see them, which is kind of what punks do. But having said that, we know that their original doctrine was to promote white supremacy as well as to promote fear in everyone who wasn't a white male or a white female. Jewish people, y'all ain't cool with them. Hispanic people, y'all not cool with them. Asian people, they ain't rocking with y'all either. Black folk, they liable to pull you out your house in front of your family, cut your balls off, and hang you in a tree right outside their family house. Why? Because you're black. It's Ku Klux Klan. That's what they do. That's what they've always done. There's some talk of them doing it as recently as a few months ago down in one of our southern states, where it was a brother who was beheaded and his head was left on his porch. Google it. It's a real story. They had a rally here in Richmond, Virginia. In Charlottesville, Virginia. Charlottesville, Virginia, which is the home city of the University of Virginia. Many folks who like college sports, you may have heard of University of Virginia. They did a rally there. And I was pleased to see that there were more protesters to the rally than there were actual protesters of the rally. Translation, people showed up to say no to the Ku Klux Klan. But the whole point of me bringing this up is former politician and former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, David Dukes, who was someone that was a prominent supporter of our president, number 45, who currently sits in the White House, was supportive of this rally here in Charlottesville, Virginia. He called on the supremacist whites in that area to show up, to exercise their Second Amendment rights, and to be there to show solidarity in the name of white supremacy. And then there's Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was created for the purpose of showing that black lives, in fact, do matter. Black Lives Matter was created in the ashes of young black males and even some old black males being murdered at the hands of the police department. You had people like Michael Brown. Trayvon Martin wasn't killed by a police officer, but he was killed by a wannabe. You had Eric Garner. who was killed in Staten Island, New York, choked out. He was the one that said, "I can't breathe." You had Tamir Rice. He was a 12-year-old in Ohio who had a toy gun, and he was murdered within 2 seconds of the police arriving in an open carry state with his toy gun. And then you had John Crawford, also in Ohio, who had a air gun in his hands in a gun store, or the gun section of a store, a Walmart store in Ohio. He was gunned down in the store, holding a gun that he picked up off of the shelf. I'm pretty sure it was not loaded. White woman actually had a heart attack and died when she was running from the chaos that was created by the police, by the way. Then you had Oscar Grant, who was shot in the back by the police in Oakland. If you've seen the movie Fruitvale Station, Michael B. Jordan played him in the movie. Oh, Oscar Grant was murdered by the police, who claimed that they were just pulling out the taser, didn't realize it was actually the gun. Yeah. Sean Bell was the guy that was coming out of a strip club on the night before he was married in New York City, and him and his friends got in the car late at night, and they were shot up, and he died in a hail of bullets at the hands of the NYPD. They thought he had a weapon. He didn't have one. Black Lives Matter. We also had Abner Louima, who was a vendor in many of our cities, folks listening to us in Jersey City and Atlanta, here in Richmond, Virginia. There's some folks in St. Louis. We all know the street vendors. I saw one recently just a few hours ago. That's what Abner Louima was doing, selling the oils or the soaps or the hats or the corny belt buckles, whatever it was. And when the police rolled up on him, of course, he was fearful, so he ran. And when they got to him, asked him for ID, and he pulled his wallet out, but they shot him 41 times or whatever it was, thinking that he was pulling out a weapon, but all he had was his wallet. Yeah. And then you have Philando Castile, who was a legal gun holder a year ago in Minnesota. And when he was asked for his ID, after having told the officer that he was a legal gun holder and that he was letting the officer know that he had his weapon, when the officer asked for ID to show that, the officer was fearful for his life, as they say, and he murdered him. 7 times he shot in the car with his lady and his child in the same trajectory as those bullets that took the life of Philando Castile. So when we talk about Black Lives Matter, and we talk about the Black Panther Party years before, I'm outraged. And I'm also very, very distressed at the suggestion that there's anything to do with the Ku Klux Klan. I already established what they were. White supremacist group designed to preserve white supremacy and white people in positions of power. And they would stop at nothing to get that point across, up to and including intimidation, up to and including murder. And that is what they've always done. There's no mystery here. There's no guessing work here. There's no, I wonder what they're all about here. Ain't none of that. Ku Klux Klan, that's what they do. And they had a rally here in Charlottesville, Virginia, about an hour west of us here in the capital city in Richmond. And then I stumble upon an article from Reuters, or Reuters, R-E-U-T-E-R-S, Reuters. I don't know how to say it. I never knew how to say it. I'll just say Reuters. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Article came out on July 7th. It was Friday, a couple of days ago, about Black Lives Matter leaders being sued over Baton Rouge police shooting. Now, the police officer was wounded in the police shooting in Baton Rouge last year. If you remember, last year on July 7th, a black man was angered by what he saw as deadly racial bias United States policing launched a downtown shooting in Dallas that killed 5 officers. And a few days later, there was some shootings in Baton Rouge, which coincidentally was the same area where Alton Sterling was murdered on video by the police officers. And they're suing the organizers of Black Lives Matter for the purposes, well, actually, let me rephrase that. They're suing Black Lives Matter organizers saying that they incite violence. Now, maybe I'm a little bit sensitive because I'm a black man. And when I look at Alt Sterling, and I look at Tamir Rice, and I look at Romali Graham, and I look at John Crawford, and I look at Philando Castile, and I look at Mike Brown, and I look at Jordan Davis, and I look at Trayvon Martin, and I look at people like them, they kind of remind me of me, or young men that could be my children. And the President of the United States, number 44, said that. They gave him shit about it. But they remind me of me. And many of them were killed unjustly. You know, you've got some question about Mike Brown. I looked at the footage just like everybody else, and I don't think he was criminal. But those folks who want to think he is, hey, have at it. Not debating that one case. We can talk about Trayvon Martin, who just wanted to go home. We can talk about, you know, Oscar Grant, who was a part of a crowd that got riled up by the police and shot in the back when they thought it was a taser. And we could talk about Tamir Rice, who was 12 years old, who had a gun in an open carry state. And we could talk about John Crawford, who was looking at a gun in a freaking gun store. Yeah, they remind me of me. Virginia, it's an open carry state. And you can also walk around with a loaded pistol in your pocket as long as you got a license for it. And some folks here actually exercise that right, as Philando Castile did, and as some of us here in Virginia choose to do so. These are the people that Black Lives Matter are supporting. These are the people that Black Lives Matter are fighting for. These are the people that Black Lives Matter have as the poster children for the reason why they exist. There wouldn't be no Black Lives Matter if this didn't happen time after time, week after week. It's never okay when somebody is killed violently. It wasn't okay last week when the schizophrenic black man rolled up on an unsuspecting and innocent police officer and executed her. That wasn't okay. It wasn't okay. But you know what? It's not okay when white people roll up in movie theaters, in mosques, in schools, in churches, and shoot it up and get to be called troubled and get to be called disturbed. They don't get called criminals like we do. They get called troubled and disturbed. And they get to escape the vision of being the face of American terrorists when it's black and brown people who are the face of American terrorists. And this ain't Marcus J talking. Do your own homework and look up who are the ones committing the crimes, the terroristic crimes here in our country. And how often do we hear the word terrorism utilized when it is someone that is not of black or brown hue? Do everything they can to avoid the usage of that word. I don't know of any time where they actually use the word. If there was ever a terrorist in this country, Dylan Roof would have been one. But Dylan Roof was troubled. Dylan Roof got Burger King. Dylan Roof got protected. This is what we deal with when we're looking at the Ku Klux Klan, far right wing terrorist acts, whose only purpose is to divide and to conquer and to hurt and to maim and to kill. And then there's Black Lives Matter that was created for the sole purpose of putting out and showing the incidences of black lives not mattering. Looting and violence is never okay. It's not. I'm not endorsing that. I never would. Looting and violence is never okay. But I'll be honest with you. I'd much rather see the local pharmacy burned to the ground in the name of justice than to see another man swinging from the tree just because he wanted to vote. It's bullshit. And we shouldn't allow these people to hold us hostage with this message and with this rhetoric, with this type of mentality. They're the ones who hold us hostage with regards to this nonsense. The National Rifle Association put out a video a week ago, and we aired it on the show here last week, where they were talking about they. They. Who the hell is they? Are we they? Or are they? Well, I'll give you a little hint. They talked about they put their ex-president out for their mission. They talked about how they loot and fight in the street, all this kind of stuff, and the police have no choice but to maintain order in the street. They ought to be met with the closed fist of justice. It's outrageous that they look at us in this way, because not only was Black Lives Matter created in the ashes of us trying to fight against oppression and illegal practices and misplaced justice in the street, police brutality and things of that sort, their predecessor, the Black Panthers, were created for the sole purpose of protecting black men, black women, and black children from who? Wow, the Ku Klux Klan. See how that whole thing comes full circle? See how this works? See how this whole thing has a beginning and an end, but it's cyclical. See how that works? Yeah, when black men were walking around exercising their Second Amendment right to bear arms publicly, openly, in states that allowed it, President Ronald Reagan, number 40, elected in 1980, 13 years earlier in 1967, was one of the strongest proponents of what was called the Mulford Act. The Mulford Act of 1967, which was set up in California for the sole purpose of keeping people, air quotes, from public displays of their weapons. So who the hell you think that Mulford Act was designed to combat? It sure wasn't designed to combat the Ku Klux Klan. When you got black men with berets and leather jackets and AK-47 standing on the Capitol steps, I think it was designed for them. Also think about the fact that J. Edgar Hoover and his cronies over at the Federal Bureau of Investigations made sure that the Black Panther Party no longer existed. Made sure that Martin Luther King was surveilled and Malcolm X was surveilled. The Black Panther Party was disbanded. Why? Because they were the biggest threat to the American people at the time. Never mind, they were protecting people who had water hoses and dogs sicked on them. Never mind all that. The people who were killing people for registering the votes need to be protected. Ask the family of Mickey Schwerner. And ask the family of Goodwin. And I can't remember the third Alabama worker. But y'all know the story I'm talking about. They were killed by who? The Ku Klux Klan. The Federal Bureau of Investigations made sure that Martin Luther King was gone. And they paid, the United States government paid the family of King saying, we did this. Civil suit. They wouldn't have paid if it wasn't some stuff with it. Look that up. And we know that they were loosely attached to the assassination of Malcolm X. If you think it was just the Nation of Islam, then I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. But through all of that, Black Lives Matter, terrible. Incites violence, hateful group. Black Panther Party, dangerous, need to be eradicated. Most dangerous group in the country. Ku Klux Klan, lynching people, intimidating people, hiding their faces, white sheets. And they still exist so they can do rallies in Charlottesville, Virginia. Man, you gotta love America. Ain't no half step on Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Hakeem, I seen your comments, brother. I needed to get that off my chest, so I'm going to go ahead and get your comments out. Thank you. My cousin Tony is saying peace. He's agreeing and liking the things that he's hearing. I appreciate you because Hakeem said he had to pull over. He's definitely with me, and there's absolutely nothing he doesn't think that the mother of his kids could do that would make him depict her negatively out of respect for the kids. He never want them to harbor any ill feelings towards her. He's speaking of my comments on Rob Kardashian and Black Chyna. He comes back and says, interesting, nice strategic move. If they win, they get to delegitimize, discredit the organization and movement. Unfortunately, a lot of people praised that man, tried to make him a martyr or hero out of him, and said we need more cop killers like him. So appreciate you, Hakeem, for always being a part of Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J and Legacy Internet Radio. Couple of quick hits that I'm going to get to before I get to our very special guest here on the show tonight. I got to have a quick word on Jay-Z, and I got to have a quick word on number 45. Try not to say his name unless I have to. Y'all know who number 45 is. But my thing on Jay-Z real quick, I'm a fan of Sean. I like Sean's music. I think his music is cool. I listened to Reasonable Doubt 21 years ago when it came out. Like everybody, I thought that I thought it was dope, and I thought that the new record that came out a little over a week ago, I believe it was called 444, I thought that was dope too. I really did. And I didn't even really think too much about a lot of the negative publicity that he had kind of opened himself up to. The negative publicity that he got from the Anti-Defamation League, which is a leading Jewish organization dedicated to fighting anti-Semitism. They say they're concerned about the implications of a lyric on Jay-Z's new 444 song, The Story of OJ, which K-Dub said it, and it's true, it is absolutely the jewel of the record. I could do without the gratuitous use of the N-word in the song, but the song is dope. But basically, the line that drew them out was, you want to know what's more important than throwing away money at a strip club? Credit. I'm going to be talking about credit later on with our sister Dana Marie, so make sure you're listening. It won't be on Facebook Live, but it will be on www.legacyinternetradio.com. Shameless plug. Anyway, he says, you want to know what's more important than throwing away money at a strip club? Credit. You wonder why Jewish people own all the property in America? This is how they do it. Well, he's talking about this is how we do it with credit. And, Jewish people didn't like that too much. They really didn't. And I'll be honest with you. For me, this is just one man's opinion. This is an example of how you stand up for yourself. Jewish people. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all for real. Now, me personally, I had no problem with the lyric. None. It didn't affect me. And frankly, I think it was a non-issue. But it don't matter what I think. It don't matter what I think. If you're offended and you feel the need to take action, Jewish people, by all means, knock yourself out. Take action. Because if something so small as that, and again, small to me, is going to be investigated for the purpose of preserving your culture, your image, and your honor of your people, I can't even be mad with you. Because that's what's supposed to happen. And for all of our, it takes a village rhetoric, us, black people, I rarely see us stand up this way. And the irony is, Jewish people are up in arms over the reference of them actually owning stuff. Getting credit to do it, but actually owning stuff. They up in arms about it. They ain't like that. Owning stuff. They want an explanation on a song where the artist says the N-word at least 50 times. And black folks ain't got shit to say about it. Nothing. You just talking about how dope the song is. You know what I mean? Young folks talking about the song is dope, and conscious folks talking about we've been saying that for a long time. Why y'all listening now? Jay-Z said, and now all of a sudden you think it's dope. Yeah, hey, I'm one of them people. I was saying that too, because I've been saying the stuff he was saying on that song. I've been saying it. But this is what we do. Jewish people pissed off, and they want an investigation about them being purported to owning land at the hands of credit. But we say the N-word a million times and nobody bats an eye. This is why, or not why, this is one of the reasons why we're in the position that we in right now. Ain't No Half Step Marks J, live from the den, Legacy Internet Radio. All right, last thing I'm going to get to, this one going to be real quick. Just say this real quick. This morning or this weekend, it has been made known that Donald Trump Jr. Was a part of a meeting with the Russians about a year ago for the sole purpose of getting information on Hillary Clinton. He was there with Paul Manafort and at least one other, Jared Kushner, I think the son-in-law, was in this meeting. But they would have you believe that Donald Trump didn't know anything about this. And they'd also have you believe that Donald Trump Jr., when he realized that this meeting with this Russian woman didn't have nothing to do with Hillary Clinton because she didn't have no information on her, that he abruptly ended the meeting and left. Couple things with that. You in the meeting. You already said you didn't have no meeting. Been saying for the last year ain't been no meeting. Now all of a sudden there was a meeting. I call foul on that one. But if you will go for that, will you also go for them saying that this meeting took place and Donald Trump Sr. didn't know anything about it? Like, really? Really? Seriously? Now, I own a business. Many of us who are listening right now own businesses. Think about you as the owner and CEO of your business, and you have top lieutenants having a meeting with people of another country for something that would benefit you, and you don't know nothing about it. You don't know nothing about it. You in the dark. You find out with the American people. Really? This your president of the United States? This who y'all elected. I ain't vote for him, so I can't say we. But this is who y'all elected. And for those folks who are walking around right now talking about, I can't stand Obamacare, but I love the Affordable Care Act because it gets me my medicine and it gets me treatment for my diabetes. You're an idiot. You're an idiot because you haven't done your homework and you voted based upon idol worship and not issues. And that makes you an idiot. Makes you a sad idiot, but an idiot nonetheless, because your idiocy has put us in peril for at least the next 4 years and maybe more. And we can't walk around thinking that impeachment is a real option. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But as of January 20th, 2017, all the way up to January 20th, 2021, this is what we have. And there's a lot of damage that can be done in the next 3.5 years. We must be vigilant. We must be prudent. And we must take care of one another. The time for division and hating and all of that kind of stuff, that shit's gone, man. Because we're in this together. White people, black people, poor people, rich people, it doesn't matter who you are. Because when North Korea comes for us, we all going to be the ones in peril. When Russia comes for us, we're going to all be the ones in peril. The United States has always had the benefit of not having a foreign power come for us in a grand way. And I mean no disrespect to those we lost on 9/11, but it's not what I'm talking about. Ain't nobody bombing in a sustained attack United States soil. But we continuously do that to other countries. As Malcolm X famously said, the chickens came home to roost. I just hope that them chickens continue out in the field and don't come home at any point between now and January 20th, 2021. Ain't no how step with Marcus J. Live from the den, Legacy Internet Radio. We are going to take our first break of the night. And when we come back, we will begin our interview segments. We will have an outstanding and dynamic show that's going to be led by 4 very, very awesome people. First up, our brother Kenneth Taylor. And then later on in the show, we'll have our sister poetess Cynthia Sherrill. We'll have our sister Shonda Pulliam. And we'll have our sister Dana Marie later on in the show. You're listening to the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. It's called Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. That's me. For everybody that's listening and watching right now on the Facebook Live, I'm shutting it down for the night. You will need to listen to the rest of the show at www.legacyinternetradio.com. Or if you've got the app on your phone, you can go to TuneIn, search Legacy Internet Radio, and then you will find us. You'll also be able to go to the app called Streema, STREEMA.com. They're both apps. Go to either of those apps, and you can get not just this show, but all of our programming here on Legacy Internet Radio. Taking that break. You rocking with us, we rolling with y'all. We appreciate you. You're listening to the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. It's called Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. That's me. Be back in a few, y'all. Stay with us.